Om. Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha hastamalakam cha shishyam tam todakam vartikakaramanyaan asmadgurun santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Bande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. 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 Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padam Bhujanmane Savilasa Mahamoha Gaha Gaseka Karmani. In the Yoga Shastra, Ishvaraha is explained as one who is not affected by or touched by four things: klesha, karma, vipakaihi, ashrayaihi api asamyutaha, asangataha. One who is not connected to, affected by klesha. Klesha is of the four kind, five. What are the five? Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. And then karma, sanchita, prarabdha, and agami. Vipakaihi. Vipaka is, paka means maturity. Vipaka is the maturity of action known as the fruits of action. There are also three kinds of fruits of action. Anybody? Anishtam ishtam mishram cha tribidam karmana phalam. Ishtam, what is desired, Anishtam, what is not desired. Mishram is Mishra, one who is mixture of these two. Sometime a part of it may be something which you like, some of them may not be that part you don't like. And then Ashaya. Ashaya is the vasanas. So all the impressions left behind by the experiences, api asamvitaha. So therefore is pum visheshaha, a vishesha purusha, a special kind of a purusha. Purusha in general means a living soul. According to Sankyans also, a living soul is a purusha. And pum visheshaha means a special form of the purusha who does not have the sangha with karma, vipaka, klesha, and ashaya. Bhaved ishaha. Pum visheshaha ishaha bhaved. This special kind of a being becomes the Ishvaraha, Jivavat, like that of Jiva, Asangachit. Uska consciousness is also Asangaha, unattached. And this is the proposition by the yoga people. So now, continuing in 106 here, Tata Bipum Visheshatvat Gatatesya Niyantrita Avyavastau Bandha Mokshau Apadedi ihanyata apadetam ihanyata tata vipum visheshatvat gatatesya niyantrita avyavastau vyanda mokshau apadetam ihanyata. Tatapi, being so, also pumvisheshatvat, this special nature of this Ishvaraha who is not affected by klesha, karma, vipaka and ashaya, therefore ghatate, possible, what? Asya niyantrita. Niyantrita is a state of being a controller. Ishvaratvam, the ability to control. Obviously, when a person is attached or affected by klesha, karma, etc., cannot be a ruler, cannot be a controller. A controller, the ruler must be one who is free of all these things. Then only such a person, without any bias, able to control what? Control in the sense become available for jiva to get moksha. He becomes a provider of moksha because he himself is not under any control, under any condition. It is like if I am tied up in one place and you are tied up in another place, can I be able to release you? If I am in bondage and you are in bondage, neither of us can release ourselves. One must be free of bondage for such a person to release the other person. Many times when somebody is in deep sorrow out of somebody's departure and started to cry, and you go and start crying more than that. So that, but you are there to only to, to console that person. If you start more crying, so that person will wonder, what is your relationship with this person? So here, Ishvaraha cannot be Saktaha. He cannot be attached. Patruka patrattan patrine patruka patrudarke. Raja. Patruka patrattan patrine patruka patrudarke. As faster, when I speak faster, you will get it. So, hold on to the one who is detached so that you get detached from all attachments. Right? If you hold on to somebody who is also attached, you get a double attached. You are attached to that person and what he is attached also. So, Patatran, meaning one who does not have any attachment. Hold on to him who is not attached so that you can detach and he will not get attached to you. That is another thing. Otherwise, Bhagavan attached, get attached to me. That is not correct. So he by nature detached, he can detach you from other things and in the process he will not get attached to you. So here, bandha moksho, therefore, bandhahascha mokshascha, bandha moksho, anyata, if it is not so, if the Ishvara is also having asakti, then bandha moksho avyavastito apatetam. Avyavasto means uncertain. Vyavastha means certain, established. Avyavastha means uncertain, becomes then bondage and liberation become uncertain. Why? Because who will give the release? The person who gives the release must be one who is released. One who has already crossed the ocean of samsara alone can lift the other person. If the boat is also sinking, you are sitting on that boat will not help you. A sinking boat will not help one to escape. Similarly, one who is caught up in the whirlpool of Maya and bondage cannot be the one who will be able to help the other person. Swayam tirtaha anyana vitarayanti. Those who have already crossed their ocean of samsara alone can make others cross. So therefore, here, bandha moksho avyavastau apetatam. Anyata. If it is otherwise, otherwise means what? If Ishvara is also a person who is affected by karma and klesha and then vipaka and ashaya. Therefore, Ishvaraha pumbishe. Their point is Ishvaraha pumbisheshaha asangaha. Now, 2 points to be understood. Pumbisheshaha asangaha. These two you keep in mind. They are special category of human soul, and the nature of that soul is also asangaha. Why the nature? Why? What is the special category of that soul? Niyantrita. That is the Vishesha here. Not Asangatvam alone. Niyantrita is the Vishesha here. Because, why it is, I'll tell you later. So, Niyantrita means Niyamanam Karta, one who is able to determine and control. So, that is why it is said Niyantrita Asya Gateta. Possibility of being a ruler is possible. Possibility is there. Yeah. Now, how do you prove that? What is Shruti? Because as you said, that according to Sankhyan, there is Purusha and Pradhana, there is no Ishvara. In Sankhyan system, there is no Ishvara. Purusha and Pradhana, both of them are eternal and both of them are necessary for the experience to complete. And Pradhana is as real as Purusha. And the Yoga Marga also does not deny that point. Pradhana is there, Prakriti is there, because of it there, Klesha is there, Karma is there, Vipaka is there, Ashaya is there. These are all real. But there is a special category of the soul who is unaffected by this, becomes a ruler, and he is capable of, like a president is elected, for example, not in China, but so anyway, president is elected, and that elected president can rule over all others, meaning any policy, any decision to be taken, how to rule and what is to be given to the people, what not to be given, so all that are possible because he has the position. Imagine a person who has Yeah? Like a king of a country, that person is qualified to be the king no matter what. It is not an election system, right? But think about it, because he has the quality of that, not because he is the son of so and so. The quality of rulership is there. Therefore, what is that quality of rulership? Mainly unaffected by any of these things. And therefore, he has the ability to unbiased, without any bias, able to take decisions. And therefore, that pumbishesha ghateta, possible, niyantritatva ghateta. Now, what is the Shruti? And so, therefore, they have refuted or asked the Sankyans that how can there be Bandha and Moksha if both Purusha and Prakriti are there? Everybody is available. So, how will the Moksha will take place then? So, for Moksha to take place, there must be some way of making that Jiva able to come out of the hold of Prakriti. So, Yoga Shastra says it is the blessings of the Ishvara by which you are able to come out of it. So, Ishvara Pranidhana is given as one of the niyamas in the Yoga Shastra. And that is the same as this is a dualistic perception as it is in the case of Christianity, Islam, Judaism. All of them talk about Ishvara as a special being, God who created and controls everything, and he is alone capable of giving moksha. So this is clear. And now this is proved by Shruti also, according to. Now understand, everyone is quoting Shruti according to their standpoint. So they will pick up the verses and say, hey, here it is said. See this. So where is it? Bishasmadityeva madau asangasya paratmanah Shrutam tatyuktamapyasya Shlokam Shloka Okay, sorry. Shlesha karmadya sangam angamat. Printing is bad here. Bishasmadityeva madho asangasya paratmanah Shrudam tadyuktamapyasya klesha karmadya sangamat. Shrutam. It is already heard where? From the Upanishads only. Shrutam. And Shrutam, what is Shrutam? What is heard? Bishasmad vadapavade. Bishad udedi suryah. Bishad agnischa indrascha. Mrityuhu dhavati panchama iti. Taittiriya Upanishad. Also, it is said in the Kathopanishad. What is it there in Kathopanishad? Anybody remembers? Bayadasyat agnistapati, bayastapati suryah, bayadindrascha vayuscha, mrityurdhavati panchamah. Kathopanishad. Similar idea. Bayat, here Bisha, Smad, Bisha and Baya. Both same only. Out of fear. Bisha is also fear and Bhaya is also the fear. So out of fear, Bisha, Asmat, Asmat, Bishat, out of the fear for this, Vata Pavate, the wind is blowing, Bishat, Asmat, Bishat, Suryaha, Udeti, the sun is rising up, fire is burning. Yeah, Lord Yama is getting on his work done. So same as Bayad Agnistapati, Bayastapati Suryaha, Bayadindrascha Vayuscha, Mrityurdhavati Panchamaha. So it is said in the Upanishad very clearly, there is something everything is afraid of. Afraid means here, not because he will punish, it is because of whom I am what I am. Like in Tamil Nadu, all the ministers will fall at the feet of the mother, Amma, because she gives the power to them. Obviously, the person who is in power, because he distributes the power to the others and they are able to survive because of that. Therefore, blah on the feet. So the person who has given that power because of which who I am, that is the fear, not because of anything else. So here, all of them, all the devatas, all the various powerful beings are engaging in their actions out of prayerful respect for that Lord who, because of whom I am what I am. I am able to do what I am. That's what is in Kena Upanishad also. When they stand in front of him, and then he says, come on, show who you are. Without me, how will you do? Let us see. We can burn. Without my, if I withdraw my power from you, can you burn, O Agni? Without my power, can you blow anything, O Vayu? So that way, there is some, that small little story there. So here, it is Shrutam. It is heard. Now, when it is heard, when something is heard, yuktamapi. See, Shruti alone is not a full pramana. It has to be a yukti also to be associated with that. Shruti, yukti, and anubhuti. This is the way everything is explained. Yukti is the logic. Without that logic or reasoning, merely quoting Shruti is like blindly following something without understanding it. So, Shruti aviyukta yuktam na pramana. Shruti tata yukti together alone can make a pramana. Pramana is a proof. A proof of a thing is only when it is quoted by the Shruti as well as it is reasoned out. Then only it is correct. So here, Shruti tad yuktam abhi asya. And this yuktam also is given. What is the yuktam here? What is the yukti that is given as to substantiate the Shruti Vakya as pramana? Because asangamat. Because Ishvaraha asangaha. Not only he is the one because of which everything is functioning, because he himself is asanga. Asangamat, from what? Klesha karmadi asangamat. Because the reasoning is that Ishvaraha is by nature unattached to all these klesha, karma, vivaka, and ashaya. That is the yukti. That which is explained before. So together, Shruti and yukti proves to the point that Spum Visheshaha asti ekaha saha Ishvaraha saha niyanta. Niyantritvam tasya swabhavaha. The nature of him is swarupa. That swarupa is chaitanyam, swabhava is the niyantrata. So that is there in Ishvaraha. This is the standpoint of yoga standpoint. Okay. Now the point is one more. Jiva cannot obtain moksha unless Jiva is also able to remain detached. Unless the Jiva also is capable of detaching oneself from Prakriti, there cannot be moksha at all. So the moksha is possible only when Jiva is also capable of staying asanga off from klesha, karma, vipaka, and ashaya. So yoga marga, what they say is, there is a discipline you have to go through by which you will become detached from these four like Ishvara. But niyantrata won't happen. That is special quality of it. That's why I said these two things must be understood correctly. Pumbisheshaha, this is niyantrata, and asangatva. Asangatva and Vishesha is what? The Visheshatvam is not Asangata. Visheshatvam is Niyantrata, controller. The controller aspect is the Vishesha of Ishvaraha, while Asangata is possible for Jiva also, because of which he becomes moksha, he gains moksha. Now you see, the next verse he says, Jivanam apyasangatvat क्लेशादिर्नह्यतापि च विवेकाग्रहत क्लेश कर्मादिप्रागुदीरितम् जीवानामपि सङ्गत्वात् क्लेशादिर्नह्यतापि च विवेकाग्रहत क्लेश कर्मादिप्रागुदीरितम् जीवानामपि असङ्गत्वात्. Nature of Chaitanyam is asangat. Consciousness by nature is detached. The nature of the soul, nature of the consciousness is always detached from what it is seemed to be used to by the other upadhis. If the fire is there and the fire quality is obtained by the iron ball, and iron ball appears to be like a hot ball, the fire is not attached to the iron ball. The fire from which the iron ball has gained the fire quality, right? Like power, because of the power, the bulb is able to glow. Power is not attached to the bulb. The bulb is deriving its power or to glow from the current. In the same way, Chaitanya is unattached only all the time. See, even in the Jiva, Chaitanya is unattached. So, Jivanamapi asangatvat kleshadihi na. Kleshadihi na, meaning the klesha, etc., cannot really affect that Jiva. Yathapi. But also, that means what? Even though klesha, etc., cannot really affect the jiva, then why is he now seeing as a suffering soul? Avivekat. Viveka agrahataha. You use the word agrahata. Not capturing the ability to discriminate. This is the discipline. Viveka agrahataha. Agrahata, Panchami. Viveka agrahat or agrahataha. Because he is not capturing the discipline of discrimination. So, discrimination not being there, therefore, the unattached, though the Chaitanyam, presently is suffering the attachments as a jiva. Viveka agrahataha, klesha karmadi, because of which klesha and karma, etc., are now affecting the jiva, pragudirdam, as I said before. What? Because of the inability of detaching from the klesha, karma, vipaka, ityadi, because of which the jiva is jiva, and because of asangata, jishvara is ishvara, naturally. Whereas in the case of the jiva, it has to be a discipline. What is swabhava for ishvara? It has to be a sadhana for the jiva. Siddhasya lakshanani sadhakasya sadhanani. What is already accomplished by a Siddha Purusha, for sadhakas it is practice. So, therefore, yoga is always about practice. What are you doing? Yoga practice. But the yoga practice is stand upside down and then do some pranayama. No doubt, all those things are necessary for the mind to withdraw from what it gets attached to. Is it not? Niyama. What all those things are? They are all disciplines to be followed as a yoga marga so that the mind or the body, senses, etc., are not engaging in those fields of activities which is original swabhava of the jiva, and recognize the asangata of the chaitanyam. And this discipline requires the Ishvara prasad. The blessings of the Lord is necessary for this. Because to come out of swabhav, unless there is a certain amount of blessings from the Lord, it is not possible to sustain the discipline. So Ishvara Pranitana is a very important aspect of Yoga Shastra. So therefore, Viveka Agrahataha, Klesha Karmadi. So therefore, here there is an intrinsic difference between Ishvara and Jiva in terms of Niyantrita, not in Asangata. In Asangata, both are same. That's why he says, Jivanamami Asangatvat. Jiva is also Asanga in the sense that the Chetanam or consciousness in the Jiva is Asanga only. But because of absence of Viveka, the individual is subject to, due to Swabhava, getting connected to or getting affected by Klesha Karmadi. That's why he said, Tatapi, even though there, mm, even though it is possible for, but Viveka Agrahataha, Ajnana Karanat, Avivekat, Klesha Karmadi. Klesha Karmadi, all these Klesha Karma, etc., belong to the Jiva, Pragutiritam, as it is spoken earlier. So now, avoid verse number 100, you will see that there's an explanation on that point. That it says, Asanga yaschidhir bandha moksho vedagrahan mato bandhamuktya vyavastartam purveshamiva chidbita. There it is spoken about that. All right. Now, let us keep the yogis aside for a while. Because now we are talking about Ishvara Viveka. Jiva Viveka we did previously, where we talked about Chaitanyam, small, short, bit by medium, little, and all that, and how various different schools of thoughts have different opinions about Jiva. Now, Ishvara, we are talking about the Ishvara. This Vishaya here is Ishvara. So according to the according to the yoga marga, it is Ishvaraha Pum Visheshaha Niyantrita. Niyanta. So he has Niyantrita as his Swabhav. All right. And where the Jiva is, even though Asangaha, like that of Ishvaraha, but due to Aviveka, is subject to Klesha, Karma, Vipaka, Ashaya, etc. So this is how the Ishvara is understood in Yoga Marga. Now the Tarkikaha, logicians, come to say, what is the nature of Ishvara? This also for us to understand. So clarity comes, who is Ishvara then? Because different schools of thoughts have different perceptions. Then finally he will say, this is Vedanta's perception. Otherwise, many times people talk of Ishvara and Jiva, etc., but apparently, they do not speak from the standpoint of Vedanta. They suddenly go into Dvaita Marga and then they talk about that. And people, they think this is also Vedanta. Problem is they compromised Vedanta there. They went into some other school of thought. So we should understand where the demarcation. This is Vedanta and this is not Vedanta. This is yoga. This is Sankhya. This is Tarkikas. This is Vaisheshikas. This is Jainism. This is Buddhism. But how Vedanta is different and how that explains. Now you see 109. Nitya Jnana Prayatnecha गुणानीशस्य मन्वते असङ्गस्य नियन्तृत्वम् अयुक्तम् इति तार्किकाः नित्यज्ञानप्रयत्नेच्च गुणानीशस्य मन्वते असङ्गस्य नियन्तृत्वम् युक्तम् इति तार्किकाः तार्किकाः मन्वते. So tarkikaha, meaning those who are using the philosophy of logic, tarka logic. Tarkikaha, those who are logicians. They are manvate. They think what? What yoga marga has proposed as niyantrita is not there with Ishvara. Niyantrita is not the swabhava Ishvara. Therefore, he says, niyantritvam ayuktam. Because they have to first of all prove that wrong. Then they will come to their point. What is your argument? You are wrong. They start with that. In all these things, what do they first say? You are wrong. And how I have to prove you by reasoning what is wrong. Then I go to Shruti and then connect it, say, I am telling you wrong. Why? Because of this. So what is the logic behind their refuting the yoga's standpoint of Niyantritvam associated with Ishvara? Niyantritvam ayuktam. What is your logic? Because they go purely first to the logic. What is the logic? जिसको किसी से संगता नहीं है उसका नियंत्रण का क्या आवश्यक है? See, controller is only when I have relationship with the any one of these. See, I am not bothered to control my neighbor's son. मुझे क्या है? You know, I have told you this story also. Interesting. One kingdom was there, and there was a king and a queen. And they started to have some difference of opinion. The king and the queen. They are not talking to each other. This concerned the ministers, etc. So when one Sadhu Baba came into the city, so they approached and said that please come to the palace and advise. I mean, you can only do, we cannot do that. So please advise. Came. He didn't want to say anything, but he just came. So naturally, the king went to him in private and said that I have this problem with my wife. You know, she's a queen and she wants certain things certain ways, but I don't like it. So please, you know, I do not know. We stopped talking to each other. So what do? We want to reconcile this. So Sadhu Baba said that, you know, that what's the Taliban? Not Taliban, what do you call? Tavis. So he, in a cylinder, something is written there in that. Put it inside and the cylinder and then tie. So you tie this, you'll be all right. And don't open and see what is written there. Okay? Don't do that. I will put in some mantra there. So, take it. After some time, the queen came. They said the same thing. You know, we have this issue. And what do we do? So don't worry. I'll give you a tavis. So use that. After that, you'll be all right. Another few days, it'll be all right. But don't open that. So obviously, husband and wife, you know, after some time, they settled down, they reconciled. So they thought it is because of the Sadhu Baba did some chatti booty, whatever, what is that mantra he did. That's why reason that thing. But they were both curious. What is written as a mantra there? Even though he said don't, you know, when he said don't, they will become more curious. So the king opened that. It's written. What is written? राजा रानी से बात किया या नहीं मुझे क्या है? Raja talks to the queen, I don't know what is my problem. इधर उस रानी राजा से बात किया, ये नहीं मुझे क्या है. So, what is the problem with the Ishwar? Why is it to be a controller? There's no reason to be a controller. So, asangasya niyantritvam ayuktam. But in that case, how is this possible for him to provide moksha then? The creation needs to have somebody to take care of it. If niyantritvam is not there, how will the whole world will function if there is, see, everybody, we are all living, we are not asking sun to do this, because Vishas Madhvadapada and all those things was quoted by the yogis, saying that it is written there, Vishas Madhvadapada Vishadade Surya is burning because of the Ishvara, and then wind is blowing, etc. So how does that work? So they propose saying that there are three qualities in Ishvaraha, a Punvisheshaha, Ishvaraha. There are three qualities are there. What are those? Nitya Jnanam. There is always a correct knowledge. Appropriate correct knowledge is always there in that Vishesha Purushaha. Then Prayatnam, effort, ability to do things. Not only knowledge, but ability to do things, and Icha, the desire to do it. It is not because he is pressurized to do it. It is his nature. What? Nitya Jnanam, Prayatnam, and Icha. Nitya Jnana Prayatnecha Gunan Ishasya Manvate. Tarkikaha Manvate. Logicians say that it is not because that he wanted to control the creation. It is his natural guna of the Ishvara is eternal knowledge or omnisciency, omnisciency, ability to know everything, or which is continuously there, and omnipotent, ability to do things, and also desire. According to the desire, he will be able to function. So, Icha. Nitya should be added. Nitya Jnanam, Nitya Prayatnam, Nitya Icha. Eternal knowledge, eternal ability, and eternal desire to do things. So this considered as the quality of the Ishvara, three different qualities. This is proposed by Tarkikaha, who say controlling presupposes attachment, and being detached, that is opposed to him. So controllership is always connected to the attachment to what is to be controlled. Being of the nature of asangata shows that he cannot be a niyanta. But at the same time, his ability to do things comes from his omnisciency, omnipotency, and a total desire, the desire to create, to sustain, and to also do pralaya. And that is its swabhava. Spadubhahusyam praja yeti satabotapyata satapastupta sarvam itagam srjata. So what does it mean? Out of his own desire, he just created. Not anybody told him to. It is swabhava. It's a guna. It is. Oh, very good. So this is also looking very appealing. Huh? So, now here is the next verse. He says, Pum Visheshattvamapyasya Gunereva na chanyata Satyakamas Satyasankalpah Ityadi Shrudirjagau Pumbisheshattvamapyasya Gunereva cha nanyata Satyakama Satyasankalpaha Ityadi Shrudirjagau. It's a little jerky because when you split it into half, then it is Ityadi should go with the previous one. Then it will be easy to complete thing will be 16 syllables. When you split, it becomes 9 plus 7 instead of 8 plus 8. Now, what is the Pum Vishesha here? Because which is also be quoted by yogis saying that Pum Vishesha Ishvaraha, the special quality of the Ishvara. What is the Pum Vishesha? Pum Visheshatvam api asya, asya means Ishvarasya, gunaihi, by his qualities. What qualities? Nitya Jnanam and Nitya Prayatnam and Nitya Icha. Na Anyata. Not anything else. Not anything else. Niyantritvam is not its own Pumbishesha. Pumbishesha is Nitya Jnana, Prayatna and Icha. So that's why we also have this, Icha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti Rupini. So we consider that these three are there in the Bhagavati or the Devi also. So Devi, considering the Devi Bhagavatam, Devi becomes the creator, sustainer and annihilator also. Because in every Purana, a particular deity is given to the Ishvara nature. If you look at then, Guna, this Ganapati Adharvashisha, what is that? Twameva Sarvam, Sarvameva Sarvam, Brahmasi, no. From you only everything has come. Kartasi, Hartasi, right? You are the Karta, you are the Harta also. Tvameva Sarvam Kalvitam Brahmasi. Everything is pervaded by you only. Now, so Ganesha becomes the Ishvaraha in Ganapati Adharvashisha there. And then if you look at the Shiva Puran, Shiva becomes the Ishvaraha. Even if you look at the Vishnu Puran, Vishnu becomes the Ishvaraha. Devi Puran, Devi Bhagavan, Devi becomes Ishvara. So what is Ishvaratvam there? You are the creator, you are the sustainer, you are the annihilator, you have the Jnana, you have the Kriya, you have the Icha. So in general, what is the Visheshatva of Purusha here, Ishvara? Vishesham gunaihi eva cha na anyata. Not anything else. What is the nature? Satyakamaha Satyasankalpa ityadi shrutihi jagao. It is said in Chandogya Upanishad, is Satyakamaha, one who has a Satyakama. Satyakama is one who desires, having the desire to contain ourselves, to create, and having the desire to sustain, and having the desire to annihilate also. Now, therefore, this is and Satya Sankalpa, according to his decision. Ityadi Shrutir Jagao. Chandogya Upanishad points out this very clearly. Now, this is proposed by the Tarkikaha as the quality of the Ishvara, Guna. All right. Now, next to school. See, you have said Ishvara has got Satyakama, Satya Sankalpa, etc. Nitya Jnanam, Nitya Prayatnam, Nitya Icha. All right. The difference between Hiranyagarbha and Ishvara, in the case of Vedanta, Hiranyagarbha, otherwise known as Sutra Atman, is a total subtle body. Total subtle body is Samashti Sukshma Sharira Abhimani Chaitanyam Hiranyagarbha. Right? Hiranyagarbha is total subtle bodies associated with consciousness. And total gross body associated with consciousness known as Virat. total causal body associated with consciousness is known as Ishvara. Now, when you say Nitya Jnanam, Nitya Icha, Nitya Prayatnam, this does not belong to causal body. Causal body is not one which does these functions. It is Hiranyagarbha who does that. In the Puranas, he is referred as Brahma. Brahma, creator. The creator who has the control over the total subtle bodies, is the one who is connecting all the beings. That's why it's called Sutratma. And the body, the mind, which is of the total mind, is the one which is engaging in all activities with the help of prana. Prana is necessary for all the activities to take place. Physical body to move and digest and walk and talk and do everything. In Chandogya Upanishad, there is also that's what he is going to quote also later on in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad as well as that. Prana Atma is also is the one because of whom all the sense organs are able to do their work. An interesting thing is, prana is necessary for me to talk, walk, and the reproductive organ, anus, and to see, to hear, to taste, to smell, to touch. Prana is necessary. When the prana slows down, everything will slow down. And prana quits, everything stops. So the prana is a very important part here, and prana is associated with the subtle body. And when we subtle body leaves, it's called prana chal gaya. The prana ho gaya uska. The meaning what? No more action can take place through the body. Now, keeping this in mind, how do you distinguish Ishvara and Hiranyagarbha? This is the group of people who are Hiranyagarbhavadinaha. And they have valid reason for that. We'll see what they say. Nityajnanadimatvesya सृष्टिरेव सदा भवेत् हिरण्यगर्भ ईशोऽपि लिङ्गदेहेन संयुतः नित्यज्ञानादिमत्वेस्य सृष्टिरेव सदा भवेत् हिरण्यगर्भ ईशोऽपि लिङ्गदेहेन संयुतः. जैसे आपने बताया कि नित्य ज्ञान है, नित्य प्रयत्न है. If nitya jnanam, nitya prayatna is there, the problem is Srishti will never end. Srishti will not end. Why? See, if one is engaging in that particular action of creation at all times, nitya, is right? Nitya, right? The word is used what? Nitya. When the word nitya is used, what it means then? Nityam jnanam asti, nityam prayatnam asti. Ek prayatna kya? So he is engaging, that's why it says nitya jnanadimatve. When there is a constant knowledge and action, srishtihi sada bhavet. There will be constant creation. There will be no annihilation at all. So the annihilation is necessary for the souls to recover and recoup and come back. But here, according to you, Nitya Jnana and Nitya Prayatnam presupposes constant creation. There's no end to it at all. Ishvara, being endowed with eternal knowledge and other cognate attributes, must be ever engaged in the creation of the world. Then he is also become a samsari only then. I don't know what else he can do. Hey, आप मिला है नहीं मिलता हूँ क्यों? काम है ना. क्या काम है? सृष्टि करना है. So this Ishvara, leave it aside. The one who is taking care of the whole thing is Hiranyagarbha. So if at all you want to call that as the continuous activity of someone, of creation, etc., why do you want to bring the word Ishvara here? Let us stick to the word Hiranyagarbha. So who is the Ishvara here? Hiranyagarbha Ishaha. Because definitely Vedas talk about who the create, from where the creation starts. Hiranyagarbha is the creator. Ishvara is not the creator. Hiranyagarbha is the creator. Because he is the one who has the total cosmic mind. Causal body has not created the world. The mind is creating the world. The total mind is creator of this world, according to this Hiranyagarbhavadins. So Hiranyagarbha Ishaha api. And Lingadehena Samyutaha, meaning Sukshma Sharirena Samyutaha, associated with Sukshma Sharir. Because after all, let us see, if a Jiva dies, what moves is the Linga Sharir. That is, subtle body alone is, so subtle body alone is taking the next birth. Subtle body alone leaves at the time of death. So death and birth belongs to whom? To that subtle body. So the subtle body, which is total subtle body, is what? Total creation. If this individual subtle body is subject to birth and death, the total subtle body is the one which is taking care of birth of the universe and the pralaya of the universe. If a person is there and he or she dies, that soul leaves, there is death. And then takes into another, that's a birth. Total subtle body coming into being is birth of the universe. Total subtle body and all the subtle bodies coming to settle down and not manifesting is pranaya. So who is the Ishvara? Hiranyagarbha. Here the word Ishaha to be understood not the way Vedanta looks at Ishvara as the total causal body who has, total vasanas under its control. But here they are only sticking to the point of, because see, one thing, in the Vedic Karma Kanda, there is no concept of vasana. Because vasana is discussed only in the context of Upanishad. In the Vedic portion where they talk about Karma Kanda, they only talk about Papa and Punya, and that is attributed to Karma. If you do this Karma, there is Papa. If you do this Karma, there is Punya. And according to your Karma, there will be Karma Phalam. Simple as that. Now, vasanas come only in the discussion, only when what prompts you to do. And that prompting to do, when it is removed, then you are free. Which Karma Kanda won't accept. Because Karma Kanda says, if you don't do, there is no result. Moksha is also a result of karma. According to Karma Kanda, moksha is also a result of karma only. Moksha is not result of jnana. And then they will be jobless then. All the priests will go jobless. That's why they don't like us actually. ये लोग है ना, ज्ञान के बारे में कुछ कहते हैं, कर्म के बिना क्या कैसे मोक्ष करते हैं, ये सब कर्म से ही होता है. Is it not true? Swargam cha naragam cha karmana eva. All because of papa and punya only swarga, naraga and everything is possible. And how can knowing will lead you to swargam, or not knowing will lead you to naraka? Doing will take you to swarga, and not doing or doing wrong thing will go to narakam. Doing will go to the make a right thing you do, then it is swarga. So there's a karma condition won't accept. So for them, vasana is not an important topic at all. They say that vasana है रहने दो. आप क्या करते हो उसके बारे में हम सोचेंगे. So, therefore, for the ritualist, Hiranyagarbha is very important deity who decides about karma and karma. So, therefore, he is Ishvara. So, Hiranyagarbha Ishaha Lingadehena Samyutaha. So, this is the standpoint of people who propose that Hiranyagarbha is the Ishvara, one who is having the total subtle body. They will quote the scriptures now. And I will tell you why I am saying. I'm not just saying out of my own. I'll quote the scripture and show you how Hiranyagarbha is extolled in the Vedas as the one who is the Karma Phaladata, Sutratman, Prana. In individual, he is in the form of Prana, and how he is making sure that the entire creation is maintained through the Prana. We'll see that in the next session. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.